roommate, and I was looking at all these posters of this girl that was missing. And for me it was shocking because from, like, the first thing that I thought was, like, this is the first time that someone gets lost in this town. Because, like, at least even in my country or even in DC, like, people get lost, but I have never seen, like, posters, like, all around. Like, I mean, no, people get lost, and back in my country, some people, when they get lost, like, well, their families, maybe they will just do, like, little papers with the photo of the person and paint themselves, basically, like, the trees or whatever. And there is, like, in TV, they will show, like, oh, this person is missing or something like that. But several of them. So it was very shocking for me. It was shocking for me also. My roommate. Before you go on, did you just say where you're from? From Colombia. So yeah. I guess that also has to do with me coming from where, I don't know if it's because I'm coming from a country where it's kind of common. We get used to the idea of people getting kidnapped and lost. But even though I think that I just thought everyone get lost everywhere, but when I saw that and in such like these big posters in color, like kind of well done, it was like, this is the first time that someone get lost in this university.
And then you were about to say you were driving with your roommate.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I remember there was a red light and we stopped. And she was like, oh my God, this is terrible. I'm like, so there was like just a gas station. So I was like I didn't got like, but I think that was the corner, Joggie's corner.
Oh, okay, like
that there is like a poster. And I was like, what happened? And she was like, no, this thing that she's lost. And I was like, I respect that she was shocked, but it kind of like also threw me off because I was like she was so emotional about it that I, like that just like, maybe like stronger about when I thought about that this was the first time that someone had lost here in this little town.
This was back in, I think it was like August maybe. And there had been a big storm and my windshield of my car was completely gone. It was, cracked. So I went to this little glass shop here in Bloomington. I'd never been there before. I just kind of called around and found it through a phone book. And so I took my car there early in the morning. It was probably around 9 o'clock in the morning. And so there was a guy working there, two guys actually, and one woman. And I believe that the woman was married to one of the mechanics who worked there. And so it was like this kind of privately owned, family-run business. And so they told me it would take maybe like 2 or 3 hours to get my windshield replaced. And I told the lady, okay, I'll just be back, in a couple of hours. I'll call first to make sure it's done. And she said, oh, well, where are you going? and I said, I'm just going to go to a coffee shop that's not too far from here. It's a couple blocks away, and I'll just go and have a coffee and read a book while I wait for the car to get finished. And she got really nervous about that, and she didn't want me to walk by myself, basically, even though it was this bright, sunny day, 9 in the morning. And she was like, well, I think I should drive you. Let me drive you there. And I said, no, it's really okay. I'm totally fine. And she basically said, well, I don't want you walking there by yourself because I think there's a serial killer in Bloomington. And she was very serious, and she seemed very upset about this. And she basically told me that there had been another missing person who disappeared before Lauren Spear in her late 20s. And I believe she mentioned the name, and it didn't really register with me. But later I kind of did some fact checking, and I found out that I think who she was referring to is Crystal Grubb. And she said that this girl Crystal, who lived in her neighborhood, had gone missing. The police didn't really do much about it, and she specifically said they didn't do much about it because she wasn't a student. She wasn't from a rich family. She was from a poor family, and that's why the police didn't look for her as much as they did for Lauren. But anyway, so she thought that the same person who killed Crystal was the person who killed Lauren Spear. And that's why she didn't want me walking by myself, because she was very concerned.
An artificial
color. He's not vegetarian. You don't have to, but it's just. And I don't think that it kills anyone. I don't think to kill me as a vegetarian as a vegan. That is just more
Well, but the thing is that the bug thing. When you eat grains, when you eat rice, when you eat vegetables, there's probably some remnants of bugs, tiny microscopic, bugs or whatever, that are just kind of lost in the shuffle, and you ingest those. But that's different than somebody purposely using a bug that's pretty expensive, from what I hear.
Yeah.
Pretty, labor intensive to use, only to brighten the color of what's already red.
That is what I don't understand.
It's so dumb. Oh, Mountain Dew. And it was literally tablespoon, a cup of sugar, and 1 serving of Mountain Dew. I'm like, that's pretty extreme.